I'm going to show you a quick video on bending wood. We do a lot of dry bending here. We don't do any steam bending. We can, but we don't do it normally. Dry bending is usually our method. That means that basically you're not putting moisture back into the wood to form it. You actually are forming it with just pressure, and you're dry bending it. There's drawbacks to that, but the easiest thing I can tell you is it works better for us if you dry bend it. But you can't bend solid wood this method. You have to use little small pieces of wood that are meant for bending that you actually laminate together and end up getting a thickness, okay? So if you wanted to go 4 inches thick, this is only 1/8 of an inch. So you got to cut that many pieces to equal the length and the width of the piece that you want to bend, and actually make a mold like this. Mold has to be heavy duty because it has to go under about 48,000 pounds of PSI to bend it. So once you get the mold made, you got 2 halves. You got an A and a B. You got a top and a bottom, right? Bottom and top, whatever you want to figure. Once you do that, you actually lay out your pieces, glue up both sides except for the first side, which goes against your mold. You don't want it to stick to your mold. And then every consecutive piece gets glue on both sides, and you just stack it like that in your form. Okay, once you get it stacked, then you actually add the second half of the mold like that, and you can see the void here. So we put it under pressure. Pressure brings it down, makes it conform to the edges of the mold, and that's how you get it. When the glue dries, it doesn't move. It stays into that shape. So you don't get any distortion. Basically, the best way to illustrate this is plywood chairs. This is how they would make a plywood chair, or they make plywood legs, or whatever, because you are actually end up with a piece of plywood. And once you get it done, you can cover it with a veneer. This is a failure on the veneer because we got the veneer too wet. But you can see you can stick whatever you want on the outside of the thing. Okay, so we're going to stop it for a second, and then I'm going to show you how it gets bent. Okay, so this is our press. This press can put 48,000 pounds PSI on it. We definitely want it to be centered in your press here, so you get equal pressure on both ends. And once you basically get this all in, all these strips here are glued together. This will press down on it and squeeze it, put all that glue under pressure, which makes it very, very strong. Okay, so now I'm going to put it under pressure, and you just turn this dial, and down comes the press. And you always put a couple sacrificial pieces in there, so if you can hear it cracking like that. So the top and the bottom layer will have a crack in it, but the piece that you're saving is in between those, so it only cracks on those 2 layers. And it squeezes the glue out. Once the glue dries, you release the press. And your piece should be bent, and the glue should hold it in place. So there's how we dry bend wood. It's a involved process, but once you go to bend, it's very simple. It's making the mold and getting your shape and getting it all glued up and putting it together and putting it in there. That's the hard part.